What's up, friends? Rob here, the Medicare minister, and I'm back with a brand new interview for you today on our Spitting Fire podcast. And I got my good friend, Anthony Johnson. Anthony, say what's up to everybody real quick.
What's going on, people?
Well, listen, I know Anthony is going to drop some fire for us today. He's going to spit some fire for us. But before we get to that, I want to just encourage everybody once again to make sure to like, subscribe below, click on the little bell there, because you'll be alerted every time we drop some fresh content, every time we drop some new interviews like this as well. And maybe share it with somebody who you think could benefit from this today. So Anthony, I want to welcome you to the Spitting Fire podcast. Thank you for being with me today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. And what I like to always do is, as we kick this thing off, is would just love to hear a little bit of your story. You know, where are you from? Where do you live? You know, maybe early career and how you got to the point that where you're at now. So would you mind sharing some of that with us?
Sure. So I currently reside in Biloxi, Mississippi. I was born and raised in Laurel, Mississippi. Stayed there my first 5 years of life. And we moved to Macomb, Mississippi because of my dad's ministry. My dad's a minister as well. Likewise yourself, Mr. Rob. So I stayed in Macomb about maybe 28, 29 years. And then after professional baseball, me and my family, my wife and my daughter, we moved to Biloxi, Mississippi. And we've been here for about 6 years now.
Okay.
Now, I did play baseball all throughout my years, starting at 4 years old, all the way up through college. I played a little semi-pro ball. And then I made a transition to umpiring. So I started umpiring Little League ball, and then eventually, you know, I got a chance to discover that there was a professional umpire school out there, and a guy saw me umpiring a Little League game, and he thought that I would be pretty good at doing it professionally. So I looked into it. Actually, eventually went to the school. First time wasn't successful. I failed the first time getting in. It's a school about 150 students, and you have to graduate in the top 25 of the students. And the first year I went, I missed it by one. I graduated number 26. So I kind of let that devastate me and kind of bring me down to where I wanted to go away from it. But I had this mentor that, you know, came in the picture, and he put me under his wing. And I actually drove 2.5 hours, 3 days out of the week to the coast when I was staying in Macomb, Mississippi, to train with this guy for about 6 months. After I trained with him for about 6 months, I went back to school, and I graduated in top of the class. And at that point, I made my way into professional baseball as an umpire. And I spent about 12 years in professional baseball. So I finished up with that in 2016. Okay. And then I made a transition from baseball. You know, I worked at a car wash. I worked at an auto parts store, but, you know, that just wasn't, you know, bringing home what I thought my worth was. So I got into insurance. So I got into insurance in 2017. And from then, I just stuck with it. Life insurance, that is. And then I'm eventually dabbling in real estate right now. I just started that about a month ago. Okay. So that's where I'm sitting at right now there, Rob.
Let me ask you this. So you in the sports and in the umpiring, you talked about having a mentor. How do you think that helped prepare you for the season that you're in now? Because now you've been a really successful insurance agent, right? I saw some awards you posted on Facebook. I saw a new car that you just purchased. You posted on Facebook. How did those years as an umpire and maybe lessons learned, maybe the mentor, how did that help prepare you for the season that you're walking in now?
Baseball, it taught me so many different things. For one, it taught me that you're going to fail in life. And it taught me how to handle failure when it approaches you. Being successful, it's not a walk in the park. It's not something easy that comes to you. You're going to have to fail way more than you will succeed.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is the mindset that you have, you have to create a strength in your mind to where you have to keep pushing through to know that it's going to be brighter days. It's going to be a time where that success really comes my way. My success may be different than your success.
Right.
You may be successful way faster than I will be successful.
Sure.
But what we have together is we know that failure is going to happen before you become successful.
Sure.
So baseball really taught me patience. It taught me endurance. It taught me work ethic, having a strong work ethic as far as you have to go get what you want. It's just not going to fall on your plate.
Yeah. And I love that. I like to tell people that, I believe that real leaders fail forward, right? That we understand that it's just another step. It's a platform. We don't let it be a prison to us, but we use it as a platform to get to that next step in our journey. So definitely spitting some fire there. What about the mentor? What was like the mentor? How do you think that really helped you? And why do you think it's important to have a mentor?
Well, that mentor at that point came at the right time, because at that point I was devastated. I was on the verge of giving up. I was on the verge of just letting it go, not knowing that it can actually turn around to become a positive thing for me.
Right.
So when that mentor came in my life, Mr. Terrence Mobley is his name. He actually taught me some things to let me know that you're going to go through things in life.
Yeah.
You're not going to like them at all.
Right.
The decisions that people make on your behalf is going to just make you feel a way to where you just want to just give up on yourself.
Right.
And you just can't give up on yourself. You got to keep pushing. And sometimes you do need that person to help push you along the way, speak positivity in you. And that's huge. When you're in a business, you have to have a circle of positive people that's going to inspire you and encourage you and coach you to bring out the best in you. You may not know how much is inside you until you have that person that has the experience in that area to show you what you're capable of. And when he came in, I mean, he did a tremendous job. And like I said, it was very good as far as experience wise in professional baseball.
Yeah. Well, bro, you're definitely spitting some fire, man. I love what you said, that some of us don't really know what's inside of us. I've heard you say things like, I knew it was worth more than that. But why do you think so many people have challenges or struggle with really knowing their worth and knowing what's really inside of them? You think it's just the way they grew up? Do you think it's just being around the wrong people? Do you think it's just a combination of things?
Combination of all that, what you just said. And sometimes you have to be different than what you're raised.
That's good.
Family, friends, you and your thought process and your goals may be bigger than what you've been raised around your entire life.
Oh, that's good, man. Yeah.
And it's like what you have that you write down on your whiteboard every single day is something that is unheard of from probably your mom has done, your dad has done, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins. It's something that's unthinkable, and they feel that it's just a dream and it will forever be a dream, that it will not become reality. Yeah. So when you're surrounding yourself around those type of people, you're thinking small. Your circle is very small and your dreams is not big at all. So that has a tendency of bringing down your mindset to think, okay, well, I'm not worth having two Corvettes or having a Rolls Royce or having a mansion. I'm not capable of that. I don't have that inside me because of the circle that you're currently in. But if I can give any advice, get out those circles, be different.
That's good.
Get around someone that is actually has the same goals and mindsets and dreams as you. And those dreams, I guarantee you, they'll become reality.
And it's so interesting you say that, man. You're dropping a lot of fire here, man, in the very beginning. But I tell people all the time, those people are going to take it personally. And it's not that they can't be my friends anymore. They just can't be in my circle of five. You know what I mean? If they're not going where I'm going, or they're not already been where I'm trying to go, I need to be around those people that dream big, that want to know their worth, that want something more out of life than just doing the same old. And it offends people. It does. It makes people mad. And unfortunately, sometimes it's your closest friends and family that are your dream killers, that try to speak death over you, so to speak,
Yes.
So I love what you're saying. So let's fast forward to today. You in the insurance industry. I saw some awards you posted on your Facebook. And what was the award? You were like one of the top salespeople in your company last year, or you won some kind of award?
Correct. When I started with the company that I'm partnered with now, within my first year, I made President's Club. Wow. I was in the top 5 of agents in the entire company. Wow. And our company has about maybe close to 300 agents. The firm is a small firm, so we don't have a lot of agents, but just coming in, I knew that in order to become wealthy and successful, you have to put your all into it. And the platform that they had just allowed me to be the person that I am, and to fit my profile and work ethic coming in too. So with that, I actually won a trip. We actually, next month, me and my wife, we're going on a trip to Los Cabos. Wow. And that was just because of production. And when you work so hard and you put your blood, sweat, and tears behind what you want to do and what you want to bring to your family and change their life, then you get rewarded for it. Sure. So the plaques was just showing, it was a few months while I was top agent of the month in sales. It was a few weeks that I was top agent of the week in sales. So it's been great, Rob. It's been great. I've loved every bit of it, and I don't look back. I'm just moving forward. I'm just waiting to see what happens in the future.
Yeah. And so just for some of the people that are watching, is we have different leaders in different industry, different agents from the insurance, Medicare. I've interviewed some home-based business folks as well, and other various industries. What has been like, what does President's Club mean? Does that mean I write a certain amount of premium? Are you allowed to share what kind of premium that is? Or is that?
Yes. President's Club usually for our organization is $150,000 in production a year in a 12-month period. Okay. If you write that much business, then you're going to be President's Club every single year, and you're going to win a trip wherever they choose every single year. And right. You're going to get bonus money, and you're going to get prizes and gifts. I mean, it's just so much that you get just by doing your job. Sure. And not taking your job as a regular 9 to 5. One thing I tell people, Rob, is you have to treat your business, whether it's health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, whatever industry you're in, and this is pertaining to sales, car business, you have to treat that like a real job. Right. Because at the end of the day, you're your own boss. Right. So if you're slacking, would you fire yourself? Right. So you have to make sure that you're doing whatever you can to not fire yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
And once you realize what you have inside you, and once you realize that nothing can stop you, you can get whatever you want in life, then you're on the right path, in the right car, and you're moving in a direction that I guarantee you're going to have someone talking about you. Right. And if you don't have anybody talking about you right now, Rob, you're not that important. Right. But once you have someone talking about you, and it can be bad, it can be good. Okay. But people are going to talk about you when you get to the point to where you're becoming successful. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Keep those blinders on. You know, the horses, when they run the races, the reason why they wear those blinders is to make sure they're not looking left and looking right to their opponents to see where they're at. You know, so when you keep those blinders on, you can't peek on anybody else and see what they're doing. You just concentrating on what you need to do moving forward.
Man, that's good, bro. I totally agree. Too many people trying to get in other people's Kool-Aid, worrying about what other people are doing. Stay focused, man. I get it. So I noticed though, too, because we're talking about mentors, fast forward to today, and we're talking about the company you're in. You have a mentor now. I always see you talking about her on Facebook, or she's at least one of your mentors.
Yes.
How has she helped you? Is it Jennifer? Is that her name? Is it
yes, Miss Jennifer Walker. She's oh man, she's amazing.
One of the biggest things that she's helped with contributing to your success, helped you get to the point where you're at now in this company.
Well, what I can say about Miss Walker is she is a heavyweight coach. She's one of those Dick Vitale's in announcements.
Yeah.
But as far as like on the coach's side.
Yeah.
She's going to stay on you. She's going to push you. Yeah. She's going to want to see the best come out of you. There's no slacking with her.
Right.
And when I came on with the company, I came from another company in which I had a bad experience with. But when I came with them, she brought me under her wing. She taught me well. She showed me the ropes, and she made sure that I stayed on the path of the system that they had in place. And she taught me how to really believe in myself and just know that you're going to hear, like in life insurance, you're going to hear so many no's before you get to that one yes.
Sure.
And that's the mindset that you gotta train yourself into, because if you don't train yourself into that, it's going to devastate you and you're just going to quit.
Right.
So the way she approaches things is, hey, you're going to get turned down. You're going to get the phone hung up in your face. You're going to get doors slammed in your face. You're going to get dogs chasing you and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, you will get to that point to where we always talk about it on our call. We take a deck of cards and we're throwing out cards, but there's always a joker in the deck. Always a joker in the deck. Nice. So when that joker appears and shows his face, best believe that's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jennifer Walker, she's awesome, man. And I loved meeting her and being on her team and working with her, because she just knows what she's doing.
Yeah. And so not to harp on this, but just to bring it up brief, because you talked about having a bad experience, and obviously I don't believe in hating or throwing shade on anybody.
Sure.
But a lot of people would have quit with the bad experience. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you quit?
Well, because I found one good out of it. You know, when you run across a company that it's a lot of things that turns you away from the industry in itself because of that bad experience. Yeah. You always seek the positive out of every situation. And the positive that I found out is that company created great work ethic for me to show me that in order for me to succeed in this particular industry, I have to get out every single day, 9 to 8, running, pounding the pave, making it away. They showed me that. And when I came from that company into this company here that I'm currently with, it was a breeze as far as working.
Sure.
The only thing that I had to get adapted to was the actual system, how they perform, the platform that they use.
Sure.
That's the only thing that I had to get basically adjusted to.
Sure.
But as far as doing the work, I already had got trained in that, because that company showed me that you got to get out there and get it if you want it.
Yeah. Well, bro, you're definitely spitting some more fire here, because I think so many people, it's about perspective, right? I can either take this bad experience, take my toys and go home and cry about it and fuss about it and complain about it. Or I can look at it and go, what did I really learn from this experience? And in your case, you were taught a work ethic habit, a skill set that you were able to take in this new company. You're making President's Club. I'm assuming you're on your way to do that again this year, yes. Right? To make President's Club again, probably even write more premium this year. And it seems like, you know, you took that bad experience. There's an old saying that says you make lemonade out of lemons. It seems like you really did that with this experience.
Yes. Yes. And I tell you, Rob, you run on a day-to-day basis, you never know what's going to happen.
Sure.
Like at this moment now, I'm in the process of, because I umpired for 12 years, you know, squatting and turning and doing so many calls, it wear and tear on your body. Sure. So I'm in the process of having 2 hip replacements. My first hip replacement is going to be on the 25th of this month.
Wow.
You know, I haven't been able to get out like the normal self, because, you know, the pain is just so unbearable.
Sure.
And that's why I got this cap on, and this is like one of our acronym caps that we have, and it stands for no excuses, only results count.
That's
and
good. Yeah.
And when I'm in the bed and I'm in pain, you know, you can easily say, hey, that's my excuse not to get out and go work today.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if I don't work,
right,
I can't pay the bills.
Right.
So I have to develop some kind of way of overcoming this pain, to whether take medicine, whether it's go get a shot, whatever I need to do to eliminate this pain for at least 5 to 6 to 7 hours a day. I have to do it, you know? So even with what you just said on my way to President's Club, this has been, you know, challenging for me with my hips this year, but sure. At the end of the day, I'm still pushing forward to develop a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I love that. No excuses, only results count. Why do you think so many people make excuses? Is it just the culture we live in? Is it just so easy to not, you know, everybody says they want accountability, but when you get a coach, you know this, I'm sure Jennifer Walker, she's not tolerating no excuses, right? Why do you think so many people are prone to make excuses instead of just creating results?
It's the easiest thing to do, Rob. I can tell you, like, if you want me to go out and work, and if I have a tummy ache, oh, my stomach hurt, I can't go out today. That's the easiest thing to do. You know, we don't want to do the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Even on a regular 9 to 5, if you've ever worked a 9 to 5 and you've been around people, they're going to complain about what they signed up to do.
Right.
Whether it's working at a shoe department, oh, I can't put out any more shoes, where you knew what you was getting into before you even took the position. So even though I put it to you like this, Rob, a lot of people create those tendencies off of what they've seen growing up.
Yeah.
If their mom and dad always showed them the easiest way out of any situation,
right,
that trait came to you,
sure.
And now you're performing that.
Yeah.
And if you have kids, what do you think your kids is going to do? Yeah. They're going to pick up that same trait. And when they get up and older, they're going to follow the same
sure.
footsteps as you.
Yeah.
In order to change all that, you have to show your kids that you're different.
Yeah.
I got a headache, but I'm still going to work. My stomach hurts, but I'm still going to work. I got 2 bad hips.
Yep.
I'm taking medication and I'm going to work. Yeah. You have to show your kids that no matter what you go through, no matter what obstacles that you come across, you have to find a way to keep pushing forward no matter what.
Yeah, it's like this. We live in a do what I say, not do as I do culture, right? Everybody wants to be a coach. Everybody wants to be President's Club. Everybody wants to be successful, but they don't want to discipline. They don't want to take on the discipline. They don't want to discipline themselves to get to that breakthrough. Right.
Correct.
You know this. A lot of times that breakthrough is on the other side of discipline. It's disciplining ourselves. It's getting up when we need to get up, making those phone calls, you know, working the weekends if we have to, working till late at night, you know, maybe missing a few things, sacrificing a little bit in the short term, but in the long term, you know, the blessings are going to be there. So that's really good. So let me ask you this. In light of all your experiences as an umpire and of course, your experiences being a successful insurance agent, how would you define success? What is success to you?
Oh, success could be, it can be so many different things, Rob. But being successful is, to me, it's like an accomplishment as far as what you aim for and what's your purpose. Once you reach what you've set yourself out to do as far as a goal is concerned,
Sure.
then you're on the verge of being successful. You're going to have good and bad outcomes with that as well. But in order for you to get to that point, you have to overcome. For me, when I got into the insurance industry, even though I love talking to people and communicating well with them, you still have a little fear inside you.
Sure.
And one thing I say is, fear is nothing but fake evidence that appears real.
Right.
That's basically what it is. Yeah. So once you overcome that fear and you get outside of your comfort zone and you become uncomfortable, then you know you're headed down the right path, because being successful is never comfortable.
Sure.
At all. Sure. When you're successful, you're going to always be uncomfortable.
Right.
Always be uncomfortable. Yeah. Because it's something that you've never done. It's something that you've never experienced. And you surprise yourself sometimes, because things that you think that you could not have done, you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that's what I think about, you know, when as far as success is concerned. And another, if I can add one more thing, man.
Please do, man.
When you're coming on board with different companies and stuff, I hate to say it, but you got to put pride aside.
Yeah.
You know, because even great leaders know that and understand that they're not the best in everything.
Right.
You know, even great leaders know that.
Right.
But in order to become at least 90% good in whatever you're doing, you have to listen before you actually go out and do it.
Yeah.
And I'm always a firm believer. It's a reason you got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
No, so you can listen more than you speak.
Yeah. No, I was listening to a video podcast this morning. And this leader was being interviewed by this podcaster. And one of the things that he said, and he's coached some really powerful people. He said that the most successful people are always the most coachable. And I found that just so interesting, because a lot of people think, you know, when you become super successful that you've made it, you don't listen to anyone else. You're the big dog. You're the one that's kicking butt, taking names now. You're the one everybody's listening to. But he reiterated over and over again that the most successful people on this planet are also the most coachable. And to be coachable, you have to be humble.
Correct.
Right. You have to say, I don't know everything. Even though I may be a millionaire, I still don't know what it takes to be a billionaire. Even if I'm a billionaire, I still need to learn what it takes to get to a trillionaire, and so on and so forth. And so it's interesting you say that, because I think a lot of people think that, you know, once I get to a certain level, I don't have to listen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've made it. I've arrived. And you and I both have been around people like that. But I tell people, man, I can learn from anyone.
Yes.
I always have a mindset that any environment that I'm in, that I want to try to get a nugget or two off somebody when I'm with them. And even as I started this podcast, it really was simply just birthed out of me doing motivational stuff in the morning, because it's just who I am. And we were doing it in our agency, and our owner put it on his channel. And we go to this conference called 8% last year. And it's like, people were like, Medicare minister, what's up, man? We love your content. And it was just taking massive and perfect action to get to this point. But man, I'm up early in the morning, late at night, studying interviewers, finding out the questions they're asking, their demeanor, their mannerisms. The point I'm making is that, you know, some of these guys, even though they have millions of subscribers and thousands of views, I'm listening to them. They're always saying, you know, I'm always learning. I'm always learning. I'm studying how to communicate. I'm studying people. It just never stops. You never arrive, so to speak. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I agree with that 100%. I mean, this successful thing, you have to, one thing you said is humble. If you're not humble, it will humble you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Because a lot of times when you get to the top, sometimes the ones that are successful have a tendency of thinking that they know it all, just like you just said.
Yeah.
But then you have that point to where a situation happens and it drops them back down. And what does it normally do? It normally humbles you.
Sure.
So even though you're at that position where you're successful, still have that same urge of hunger
to
learn more, just like you just started in the business.
Yeah.
Because the more you learn, the more you stay coachable, the more you soak in, you're going to have an ability to help more people. But once you stop that, you've cut yourself off, and now you've topped out at whatever income that you have.
Yeah, that's good, man. You're definitely bringing it. Let me ask you this, because I ask everybody that I interview this question. If there was one word you would use to describe yourself, what would that one word be?
Driven.
Driven. Okay.
I am driven. And you've probably heard this. It's actually, I actually got periods in between those letters, because each letter means something. So I'm driven, and the D stands for I'm always developing myself, because no matter where you get in life, whatever industry you're in, you still have to develop yourself. And that R is for relationships. You have to build relationships with everyone that you come encounter to, because you never know when you may need that person. So you have to have that relationship. The I stands for influencing. Whenever chance you get, or whenever you have a chance, try to influence someone, especially if it's someone that's younger, that's just starting and have come from that family that don't believe in ever getting to the point to where you can own a mansion or own a Corvette. You have to influence them and show them the way. And the V stands for visionaries. You're going to run across a lot of people that have visions, but they don't know how to start and implement those visions to put it in a way to make them successful. So you have to come across those visionaries and help them create that plan to allow them to move forward. That E stands for empowering. You're in a position where what you're doing now, you're empowering people. When you went to that 8% nation, you probably didn't even think that people watched your podcast like you thought they did. But then when they walked up to you and they said, man, we love medical minister. We love that. Everything that you're doing, you're empowering people, and you didn't even know that you were empowering people. So we have to do that. And then the N stands for, I like to do the neighborhoods. Everyone stays in the neighborhood, right? So when you're in that neighborhood, you have to let people know exactly who you are and what you do, because you never know what just introducing yourself and telling them what you do could do for you and your business. So I'm the type of person where the word that describes me, I'm driven. I'm always on the move.
So part B to that question, it is, how do you think your drive has helped you become successful? How has that contributed to where you're at now?
Oh my goodness. Well, my wife tells me I need to go to sleep sometime and spend more time with them, because I stay on the move all the time. I think all the time. You know, the wealthy and the rich have a tends to think in isolation. And they think in isolation at least 15 to 30 minutes in the morning before they even get up and start moving, because they need to know where they're going, what they're going to be doing, how they're going to get there, and the outcome that they want out of each day. So when you stand up late, waking up early, you have that inside you to where, okay, I got to go get it. But I always tell my wife too, just to get her to ease back down on me, Rob, is just wait. Just give me a few years, babe. Just wait. And I will be all yours, because I won't have to work anymore.
Sure. Yeah. It's that sacrifice. It's that discipline. You know, we live in a culture that wants delight, but they don't want to exercise any discipline, right? And you know this, being around successful people, and myself as well, is that it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of late nights. It takes some weekends. You know, it's taking whatever you got to do now So that way, you know, you build the life forever that you've always dreamed of. And both of us are in the insurance industry, and, you know, we build that residual, that passive income, you know, so that's a beautiful thing. So driven, in the acronym that you gave me, obviously, I'm sure your goal is to be excellent in all those areas. But if you were to pick one of the D, the R, the I, the V, the E, and the N, which one would you say was your 10? Like, what do you do the best? Are you building relationships? Are you just the best at being relentless? Or what do you think your 10 is?
I'm good at building relationships. My wife tells me that it's never a person that crossed my path that I'm fearful of speaking to. I always want to at least introduce myself, at least speak,
sure,
you know, just out of common courtesy.
Sure.
But if the conversation presents itself, then I take the conversation on and I build a relationship. Because at the end of the day, you never know what a person is going through.
Right.
You never know what they're dealing with in life. And just that simple conversation may influence them that day to do something that they was tearing themselves away from earlier in the earlier part of the day. You never know. So I would say relationships, because that's the most important thing. You have to be able to, you know, connect with people and let them know that whatever you're going through is going to be okay. You just got to keep pushing and keep fighting. Yeah.
And I would say that when I first met you several years ago, you were a lot of energy, a lot of passion. You know, those are the kind of people I love being around, because I tell people, man, we were created on purpose to live on purpose, you know.
Correct.
And I love being around people like that. So relationships, that's awesome, man. Well, let me ask you, as we get ready to close here in just a few minutes.
Sure.
So this podcast, we reach a lot of different people in different spaces, whether home-based, insurance, you know, different kinds of insurance, but just really talking to leaders in general. So let's just say there's someone out there watching this when this drops here in a couple of weeks, and what would you say to them? Some words of wisdom, some leadership advice, some success wisdom, if you will. And maybe they're wanting to step out and be that entrepreneur. Maybe they're wanting to step out and be their own boss, you know, but also there may be some people out there that are ready to quit, you know, that don't have the Jennifer Walker, don't have the other gentleman that you mentioned earlier. What are some words that you would give to both of those parties today that say, hey, you know, this is what I would tell you right now if this was me, you know, 10 years ago, or whatever the case may be?
Right. Yeah. Rob, I would say for one, just speaking on if they're on the verge of quitting, your opportunity that you take on may not be the opportunity that you need to flourish in. So my advice to that is to find that opportunity that best fits your profile.
Oh, that's good.
Where you can perform at a level that no one will be able to compete with you.
That's good.
So find that opportunity first, because at the end of the day, you're going to run across opportunity that may not be yours.
Sure.
So find the one that fits your profile the best.
Sure.
Now, as for leaders is concerned, I would tell leaders, if you're thinking about being a leader, I would say once you get to that point, be a great listener. And what I mean by being a great listener is if you have a team and you're developing a team, listen to what they're going through. Even though you've been through that and you've accomplished the failures in that, still be there for them, because now they're in a position that you were in.
Yeah.
So when you're a leader and you don't listen, it makes it hard for your team to come to you and speak to you about their issues and their problems that they're going through.
Yeah.
So great leaders have a great listening ear and have a tendency of creating enormous teams.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what that person on your team is going through, you always find the positive in their situation to be able to present it to them, to let them know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to have another day.
Yeah.
Just know that, hey, today wasn't as good as you thought it should be, but just know tomorrow is going to be better.
Yeah.
If you keep doing what you need to do, if you keep following the system, if you keep implementing all the training that you're going through, your time is going to come.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say to the people that
dude, yeah,
great leaders.
That's spitting some fire here at the end. So I just want to backtrack real quickly, because I said we're going to close, but I want to backtrack. You talked about that real quickly. Was that one of the main differences from bad experience to good experience in this industry, that you found someone that really listened?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because it was a time where I was crying out for help.
Sure.
And great leaders would not have a tendency of pushing you off to somebody else to handle a conversation that person that's at the lower level wants to have with you.
Sure.
It means a lot. It means a lot for you to have that number in your phone and for you to dial it and they actually pick up.
Yeah.
Like for our company that I'm with now, even though Jennifer Walker is our main coach.
Yeah.
And she's tremendous and amazing at what she does, we still have access to the president of sales.
Wow.
And if you call him or text him, he's going to reach back out to you immediately.
Yeah.
Even though he has a lot of stuff going on, he understands the importance of making sure the ones that are where he used to be are okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. I see that so many times that I think a lot of top leaders forget where they came from. And a lot of them, and that goes back to being humble.
Yes.
Right. It's going back to being humble and realizing that I'm only here by the grace of God, right? Where I'm at today is by the grace of God. And so as we finish out today, I know you're a man of faith too, because I see you post some stuff about that. And of course, we've had some personal conversations. How do you think faith has played a part, or how big of a part has your faith played in your success?
Oh, my faith is huge, Rob. I mean, without faith, nothing's possible. You got to have faith. Yeah. In whatever you do. Sure. But one thing I tell people is you can have faith all you want, but faith without works is dead.
Yeah, that's good.
So if you have the faith, you got to have the work with it.
Right. Yeah.
In order for you to move.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Well, listen, tell everybody where we can find you. You're on Facebook, Instagram. Tell us where you're at.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Anthony Johnson. Don't have anything, no extra money signs or anything. Anthony Johnson, SLS. Instagram, Anthony Johnson, Johnson AJ SLS Way on Instagram. That's where you can find me.
And I'm sure you'd probably be open if there was someone out there who maybe had a bad experience. Maybe they just want to hit you up and send you a message. I'm sure you'd be willing to put some fresh wind in their sails.
Yes, I encourage people, if you find me on Facebook and Instagram, shoot me a request, friend request. If also you got so many scams out there, just shoot me a message and say, hey, I heard you on Rob Silva's podcast, and I just want to connect with you, ask you some questions, talk with you. Yeah. Send me that message. I'll definitely add you as a friend, and we can converse and I'll see what I can do to help you out.
Well, awesome, Anthony. Thank you for being so gracious with your time today. And listen, guys, as we close out here, another Spitting Fire podcast, once again, I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, comment, share the link with somebody that you think needs to hear this today. Maybe they're on the verge of quitting, or maybe they're looking to begin their journey for the first time. Man, Anthony really brought the fire today for us. There's some nuggets in there that I believe that all of us could chew on and learn from. And so definitely make sure to click the little bell below, so that way you're alerted when other interviews like this drop and other content that we post. So listen, I pray that this put fresh wind in your sails. I believe that you deserve to win. And I hope today gets you one step closer to believing that for yourself. Make it an awesome day. We'll see you guys soon, and God bless.